Name drop.
Ladies and gentlemen, man, woman, and child, Brian McFayden, Chris Kirkpatrick. You can grab. And Catherine, is it Jane or June? Jane Sutherland.
Jane Sutherland.
So my other question to you is, okay, is it Catherine or Cat? Is it
Cat. I go by Cat. When people
Cat.
say Catherine, I feel like it's too formal.
You're in trouble. People stop you in the street and say, hey, that's the pink Power Ranger.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Like, was it mainly people of a certain age, or is it kids? Because
it's all over. It's really weird. Like sometimes it's like a old man, or sometimes it's like a 4-year-old.
We have a pink Power Ranger on the show. I think that would be creepy if you're out and an old man sees you and goes, hey, pink Power Ranger. You go, you're too old to even watch Power Rangers.
You'd be surprised some of the fans.
Power Rangers actually was like after my demographic too. I think it was kind of after your demographic.
Yeah, I was like in college.
Early 90s, right?
Early 90s.
Early 90s, I was college.
93 is when it premiered.
High school, yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I love it. I was really in. So growing up, I loved. Have you heard of Ultraman?
Yeah, and Voltron.
Voltron, Ultraman.
On the next episode of Dorks.
Spectraman. Oh yeah, no, this is all dork stuff.
I know this is. I mean, I might as well just switch chairs here.
But a lot of those type shows. Yes. And I remember when Power Rangers first came out, I lost my shit because I was like, this is what I love about these shows, and now I could watch it every day. So I was that old guy that approaches you in the street and go, hey, weren't you? You're like, yeah, aren't you too old for me?
So it's weird because there's this is our 30th year. So there's 30 Pink Rangers, I guess.
So
it's crazy.
How do the outfits fit after 30 years?
Oh, I didn't put that on.
I was like, you didn't really ever put the outfits on. I was the stunt double.
No,
I was talking to
a woman of a certain age, Monta, and I asked her, I was like, is she going to come into her pink outfit? Because the only time I see Power Rangers, or like in the afternoons, you watch the TV, or Halloween, you've probably seen yourself so many times. So like,
yeah, there's always a Power Ranger.
How does that go at Halloween? When
I feel like I should dress up as the Pink Ranger sometimes
But when you see a kid in a Power Ranger outfit, don't you just want to be like, hey?
Well, the one question I've always wanted to have, because we have a real life superhero on set, Toucher, she's real. Go on. Did your kids ever start fights with other kids' parents so you can finish it?
No, the only thing that happened with my daughter was like she was in school and she would say, my mommy's the Pink Power Ranger, and the moms would be like, oh, that's nice, sweetie, for Halloween. So she would use it to her advantage sometimes, but they never watched the show. They were not interested in seeing more of me. They were sick of me. Or it's an
imaginary friend that you have.
Yeah.
My mom's the Pink Power Ranger.
And your mom doesn't have a job, so there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was it was funny. They used to watch like what was that, Ninjago and Ninja Turtles. Who, shout out to my friend Judith Hogue. Name drop.
That's great. This one sucks.
Yeah, you need a better one. I like the purple.
Yeah, take the purple one.
Do the purple one. Do I put it on my leg here?
Anytime, yeah, you could do that. Melissa, I think, started doing
Melissa Joan Hart.
Melissa Joan Hart. That's a good one. Yeah, she put this and gave us the idea, because before we just like try to grab it, then we'd forget, and the ding wouldn't be there, and then it didn't count.
She knows everyone. I bet she was like ding ding ding.
I was just gonna say, the funny thing about Melissa Joan Hart is that I met her a long time ago, and we reconnected when she first moved into town. But it seems like everybody that's moving here, they all go like, she's the welcoming committee.
Yes, she is. It's really weird because I have had like connections with her for years, but we'd never actually met until I moved here. And then my son was going to school with this woman who was friends with Melissa Joan Hart, and who
was the woman?
Her name's Stacy.
Stacy.
Shout out Stacy for that.
Wait,
she's not an actress.
Or Stacy's mom?
Stacy's mom has got it going on. Anyway, and so I met Stacy. She mentions Melissa, and then my friend Erin Cahill. Hallmark Queen. Oh my gosh! Now I'm breaking.
Don't be
things. I gotta go
nervous.
back to the
I know it's not
orange
every day you get to be on set with a member of
Sitting
Nsync.
next to you guys, it's so nerve-wracking. Yeah, so Erin and Danica and Joyland.
Wait, hang on. Danica McKellar?
Yes.
Talking about Winnie Cooper?
Yes,
Okay,
every
we can't
boy's crush.
Just go over that. We just talked about Danica before. Not the fact that we weren't happy that you were coming here, but we were talking about like, oh yeah, we both thought she was.
Oh, she was every
Bee's Knees.
boy's fantasy. Yeah.
But again, you were out
Yes.
of our. You were done. We
I
were
was
in
done.
college. We were
was-
done. We were done when you started. We were in
Yes.
college, and it would have been weird if we would have had your poster.
To be
I gotta be honest with you, I had a poster of you when I was in college.
It's probably Amy Jo. Probably wasn't me because she was before me.
No, because she was the dark-haired one.
Yeah.
Blonde.
Oh,
Stephanie was the
okay.
Aussie girl from Blackland, Australia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where did you get the poster?
It was friends.
Team Beat,
Team Beat.
Tiger Beat.
It was Power.
Power Ranger magazine. You were just teasing him for watching Power Rangers. You're a secret. You're a closet
Yeah.
Power Rangers
Not
fan.
true.
Yeah.
I'm out of the closet fan of the Power Rangers. So we go back to Australia, right? So on October 24th, 1974, the year that a Power Ranger was born, did your mom, Catherine Sr., did she ever think to herself like, oh my God,
I just birthed the Power
this is
Ranger.
my daughter's going to be a famous
She
actress?
did. She was like, I can't believe this. It's almost like Mary giving
Yeah.
birth to Jesus.
Did
Yeah.
you know right away?
Wait, hold on, please.
That was probably the biggest name drop we've had.
Yeah, I think
Jesus
Jesus
Christ,
was pretty
Mary.
much the biggest name drop we've ever had on the show.
You know this was your destiny, that you were going to be an actress?
I, as a kid, was always like performing for my family and doing, pirouettes down the street and whatnot. And then when I was a teenager, I went to a performing arts high school called McDonald College in Sydney. And then I was like, doing dancing and singing and acting and doing more theater, like musical theater. Yeah, so it was always kind of in my
Did
blood.
you think, okay, I'm either going to go Neighbors or I'm going to go Power Rangers?
Home and Away, that was the one. Home and Away. Home and Away, Neighbors, Sons and Daughters, all the the Australian soap operas.
Did all the Aussies get together, because there was like an Aussie drama club with like Natalie Imbruglia,
Natalie,
Mel
I went to
Gibson?
school with her.
Did you
Yeah,
really?
I did.
That's a
yeah.
big-
See, so there you go.
Imbruglia, yeah, that is a
There you
big
go.
one.
Who else was in your class?
Well, was famous in Australia, but Belinda Cottrell. Oh, and Kate Blanchett was at NIDA. So I used to see her. Who else did I see?
What was Kate
Naomi Watts. It was incredible, like an incredible talent. Like you could just see it from a very young age.
Who did
that
you
she
pick on? Was it Natalie?
Natalie, no, we were buddies. She ended up leaving school to do Neighbours. But we knew each other from, I think we were like 10. We did this thing called the Johnny Young Talent Troupe or whatever. And we'd travel around and like do little performances at shopping centers and, different events. And Natalie was part of that.
You would sing?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
did you,
Singing.
Like, sing it?
We just, it was like, they'd do holiday shows or they'd do different things. And her and I, there was like maybe 12 of us in the group. And then she ended up coming to my high school, and then she got Neighbours, and she left school a little early.
Was there a lot of bitterness? Are you still mad at her?
No, I'm so
Are you still
proud
friends
of
with her?
her.
Are you still friends with her?
Yeah, we keep in touch kind of through Instagram, and she was in LA. She walked into an Indian restaurant I used to go to all the time, and they were like, "Oh, you're Australian." This is before she was, Natalie.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, yeah, do you know we have an Australian girl that comes in here all the time?" And she's like, "Oh, who?" Thinking she wouldn't know me. And when they said my name, she was like, "Are you serious?" And so we connected briefly, but she lives in England, and yeah.
Us, it's not as fun. Like, it's like, oh, you're from Pennsylvania. Do you know Bill? Like, no. I
Yeah,
don't.
but it's kind of weird that you would, in the middle of LA,
Right.
that she would happen to know,
So would you say it's a tight knit community?
Yeah, that was a hard thing for me when I moved to America because the industry is very supportive there. It was very, like, everybody knows each other. This is, 28 years ago, whatever, but all the casting directors and everyone is, like, supportive of each other. It's was a much smaller industry. So then I came here.
They go to all the Australian restaurants together. Outback.
Yeah, Outback's.
And,
that is so not Australian.
Yeah, it
either.
is. We
hey,
worked there.
excuse us.
We
both worked there.
Did you?
Not
Oh
together.
wow,
No
that
rules,
is not
just-
Aussie food. At
No,
all.
but we can tell you a lot about Aussie culture.
Anything you
Yeah,
want to know.
anything.
Okay.
Go ahead, give us something.
What does feeling crook mean?
That means like just drunk.
That's like where
No,
you don't know
wrong.
where the bathroom is.
Wrong.
No, crook. No,
Wrong.
You have to ask
Wrong.
someone.
Oh, you say crock?
Crook.
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 It's her
I'm
accent.
feeling a bit crook.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah,
That means she wants to. She's a narcoleptic. She wants
Yeah.
to go to sleep.
no,
that means they are
wrong.
stealing
Fail.
from the tip jar.
No.
Wait, narcolepsy is not.
Think
stealing.
about it.
No.
Like if I say I'm feeling crook,
Crook.
I'm feeling crook. Like I'm not feeling.
I'm feeling up.
Horny.
Horny.
No.
Horny. That's a good one.
Oh my gosh, so
How do
male.
you say? How do you say that? No, but feeling crook. That's a good one. Okay,
Feeling crook means you're not feeling well.
Not feeling.
Feeling a bit
like
crook,
crooked,
like crooked, right?
probably.
I'm feeling a bit off.
What is the official beer? And he knows this.
Well-
what is the official beer of Australia?
Well, my parents were beer drinkers, so
were?
they had different ones. Like Crown Lager is
Nope.
like the
No,
best
but
one.
and you have to say it right.
Dewey sucks. Foster's sucks.
Foster's.
Foster's.
No, Foster's
Foster's
is
Australian
made in us.
beer.
No one in Australia drinks Foster's.
Yeah,
No.
we sell it. Like
We
you
sell
do.
oil cans.
Yeah, the oil cans.
Oil cans. Yeah.
Okay.
Oil cans. And
No.
then Kookaburra wings. You ever had those?
Kookaburra wings.
Kookaburra wings.
Alice Springs chicken.
Alice Springs chicken. Who doesn't have?
Come on,
Who
you know
doesn't
this
have-
stuff.
No.
So you're just not asking the right questions is the problem.
Give us
we
a-
know our stuff.
We do know our stuff.
You're just not asking.
Bloomin'
Dingo,
onion.
dingo. A bloomin' onion is American. That is not Australian.
How about a wallaby darned?
No.
Those are so
Do they
good.
have kangaroo?
Google Outback's menu. This will prove to
Yeah,
you that
and I'm
we
pretty
know.
sure we just named most
We
of it.
named
Is it
pretty
even
much everything.
owned by an Australian?
Yeah, no,
Probably
they're
not.
from
Probably
Florida.
not. Yeah, they're
Exactly.
Floridian.
They just went there and they were like, "We like the names of these things. We're just
we-
gonna."
I think they just
create."
Googled it and was like, "Oh, this sounds cool. Let's use this."
We didn't have Google back
Ned
then.
Kelly.
Ned Kelly.
Ned Kelly.
Ned Kelly, Bushranger.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Did you know Heath?
I didn't know Heath. Oh my gosh, he's such an amazingly talented guy. No, I worked in a bar briefly and he came in. That this is like when he was doing like
In Australia or
no in LA.
Okay.
In LA. What
Who
was-
else came in?
Oh gosh. Well, it was at the Bel Air Hotel. Like you remember the Bel Air
that's
Hotel?
of course,
Should be
yeah.
a ding
So
for
in
that.
between acting jobs, I worked there.
Yeah.
And I was in the bar, and it was like everybody came in, like
yeah. That's
the
spot.
big. I mean, everyone.
Did you ever steal napkins or like?
Was that up Beverly Glen?
It was on. I don't even remember where it is. It's kind of tucked away.
top.
Yeah, tucked away in there. It was like Oprah was always there, and Oprah. I'm not good at this. It's
here,
not
just keep
when
it-
it doesn't ding as well on your lap. You
Mine
gotta-
between my legs.
There
you go.
That sounds
Better.
weird.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
sound
Yeah,
weird.
because it like that.
But that doesn't look.
They're like,
that looks a
that
bit
came from-
offensive.
No, the weird part is when I ding it. That's the awkwardness.
That could be
where it
real.
just
that
gets
could
a little
be real awkward.
strange.
I'm just at home when he does it. You know. What are you gonna do?
Oh
So
gosh,
would
you guys are good friends.
So when Heath came in,
Yes,
was he like, "G'day"?
he did. He said g'day. He did. Heath, g'day.
You probably didn't think we were
G'day.
talking about Australia as much as you have.
No, I always get Australian questions.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's,
we're from. He's from Pittsburgh. I'm from Omaha.
And it just sounds cool. Australia's
Yeah.
cool to people. It's
Yeah.
funny some of the questions.
I mean,
Hey,
I wouldn't put
take it
yourself
easy.
up there like that. It's all right.
We had to do the work. I mean, we had we got boomerangs for each $1,000
And surfboards.
You've
And
both been
surfboards.
to Australia though.
No.
What? You've been to Australia?
Nope.
Are you serious?
No.
Nsync never went allowed in.
You were huge in Australia.
Yeah, well, not huge enough to bring a tour apparently.
Yeah, they don't like us.
Wow.
I'm thinking of going next week though.
Yeah? Just pop on a plane and
I think it'd be a great
hop
time.
over there?
Brisbane,
Not
Australia
next
is-
week.
When I was a kid, and it was like third grade, it was like an art class, and we got to decide which countries we wanted to go to. And one country I always wanted to go to was Australia. It was a continent, country, and they're like, "Where would you want to go?" Well, I wanted to go to a city that sounded close to my name, Brian. Brisbane.
Right,
I thought
Brisbane.
it's Brisbane.
Brisbane.
So I was like, "Wow, I could surf, and I could like," and then Crocodile Dundee came out,
Yes.
and it changed my whole world.
Oh, yeah. He changed all of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
I dressed up as Paul Hogan when I was a kid.
The great.
Yeah, I used to
Paul
love
Hogan.
him. I loved him.
So how would you rate Australian celebrities? Top 10. Yourself, obviously, number one. We'll give you number one.
Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
Olivia Newton-John.
Oh,
Nice.
that's
Let's just
my
just
number
name 'em right
one.
here.
Number one.
I
Olivia
love
Newton-John.
her.
Yep.
She was like my idol. I wanted to be her.
Did you
Let's
meet
get
her?
physical.
I never met her. I would love to have met her. Yeah. Brian Brown, he's a good one. Yeah. Obviously, Nicole Kidman. Got to give a shout out to Nicole Kidman and
Now
Casey Fairbairn.
she's here
They
too.
live here.
Do you talk to her and like kind of like? Is it like a Jeep wave? How do Australians
Royal wave? No.
when they're
No, we
driving
just-
down the street and you see another Australian, you just wave.
Yeah, you just wave or you just make eye contact, like
Like the Jeep wave.
chin bump.
Yeah, the chin like the. Be funny too. You're just bumping somebody. He's like, "Hey man, I'm actually from Pittsburgh. I just played an Australian on TV."
No, I've never met Nicole actually. Naomi. I was in acting class with Naomi, and I've kind of had similar friends with Naomi briefly. But I've never met Nicole, and they're best friends. So
Okay, so there's
yeah,
three.
there's three. Oh,
guys kind of
okay,
look
who
alike
else?
a little bit.
Do you?
You have the same eyes.
I don't get that at all. I think we sound similar.
You don't really get that. What do you don't really get?
We sound similar.
sound
They have the
similar.
same accent.
Same
You
accent.
sound alike, like Bewitched.
Do I?
Yeah. Like you could
Really?
be like Nicole Kidman.
That in the Bewitched era?
In the Bewitched era.
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's a huge compliment. I will
prettier.
take it.
Dan's a lucky man.
Like you.
Yeah, do you see that? Power Ranger likes me.
Yeah,
Go
Dan,
on, touch her.
You dropped Dan too. You got to give Dan a Dan.
And shout out to the husband, my amazing husband.
So when you got here, when
Yes.
you got to the name drop set, you said that Dan was shopping. Does he
Yes.
always do the shopping by himself?
My husband is the grocery shopper extraordinaire.
You almost said the shit.
I did almost say the shit. He is the shit.
He is the shit.
No,
You could
he
say that.
he can find a deal like nobody's business. He gets like satisfaction out of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They
it's
save like
amazing.
20 cents and their life is made.
Oh, he's like he used to do this. Do you remember the grocery game back?
Yeah,
He
yep.
used to
What, on
love.
the TV?
No, it was a like a coupon thing. Like, and we don't need to cut coupons, but he is all about like I
save
will
it all.
not pay full price for anything.
No, is he Aussie as well or
No, he's from Jersey. He's a Jersey boy. Yes. Yeah, he's awesome. He cooks. He's like a Renaissance man.
Is he Italian guy?
No,
No.
He collects coupons.
not at all.
He's like, look at this, my wife.
coupons.
She's a Power Ranger.
Is he the guy in the line though that when you're going through and you're like, man, I got to
No.
get through, and then suddenly somebody starts breaking out a wallet and putting
No.
down coupons?
He will
and-
never do that. He doesn't have time for that.
It sounds like my wife. Like my wife,
Is she like that?
if she saves any kind of money, she will buy something
To save
on
money.
sale just to save money
That's
on
my
it.
husband. Does the
Yeah,
same thing.
Carly completely does that. I'll come home and I'll
Yes.
be like, hey, we got another dog? And she'll be like, it was on free.
It's free. I had to take it.
had to do it.
Yeah, he's like that too.
Yeah.
I feel like Carly just sits on the phone and just orders Amazon all day.
Well, we all
Deals.
do that.
Deals.
I tell myself don't do it. Like I don't want to support Amazon, but I just can't help it. It's just
Why
so
don't you wanna
convenient.
support Amazon?
Because I feel like I'm all these little mom and pop stores. I should be supporting them and going into the store. Like I miss going in and like feeling the fabric and stuff. And then it's just too convenient. I'm like feel like I'm getting lazy, and I'm filling a gazillionaire's pockets instead of supporting the little people.
It's great for guys, especially like men who do last minute Christmas shopping,
Yes.
because we don't have to go to
It's
the
great
store
for
to get
guys in general.
But
It's great for everybody in
I got
general,
these
but it's
socks on Amazon.
Christmas socks. I mean, more
now
could you want
being
in
in
life?
Nashville,
Yes.
and they've got all these mom and pop shops.
Yes.
So who have you run into here? Because I know there's a lot of, Melissa Joan Hart.
Yes.
We'll give her props, of course, dear friend to everyone. But who have you run into here and you're like, oh my gosh, like they're in Nashville too? Or
Yeah, there's so many people, way more people here than I ever had in LA, actually. But what I like about Nashville is nobody's like trying, in LA, everyone's like trying to be something.
Genuine, for
and
sure.
it's genuine. Like people like lead with what they do for a living.
You know what
Here they don't do that.
I was figuring out, like in LA, people give a shit who you are, but pretend not to be.
Yeah.
Here, they just don't give a
Yeah,
shit who you are.
it's true.
and
it's
they
true.
really don't care.
No, they
it's
just-
I think they care. I think they care who you are, but they don't use that to their advantage. They're just like,
Yes.
oh, that's great that,
Yeah.
that you do that. Congratulations.
So
Like
what kind of person are you?
right.
And
They're
can I
more
hang
they're
with
more
you?
happy for you than they
Yeah.
are. Oh, that's so and
And
so.
they say y'all a
Yes.
lot here.
They say y'all.
So was it a culture shock for you and your husband being from Jersey and Australia that you?
Yeah.
Have you? I mean, you've been here a year and a half.
I've been
Now,
here. a
can
year
you
and a
say
half.
y'all correctly?
Y'all. Y'all.
Look at that.
not
She
bad.
said it long life.
It's not bad.
Y'all.
Woman of a certain age, how'd she do? An 8.
Eight.
An 8?
That's
I
not-
was going for a 9 at least.
You hear how thick that accent is?
Wow. Yeah.
It's a thick
That's
one.
cute. It's so cute.
What was the adjustment like here?
It's really funny. I feel like it reminds me a lot of where I grew up in Australia.
Really?
In Blackland. No,
Where are you from?
I grew up on the Central Coast.
What was it
You're
called?
talking about where I was born. I grew up in like Terrigal area. You haven't been there, but yeah.
When the leaves
On
and
the
the
beach.
maple
I grew up on the
trees.
beach. Actually, I have, because you can tell I'm so tanned. It was challenging growing up in a beach community with
that
with
shade,
very
transparent?
white skin. Exactly. I used to put the fake tan on and all that stuff.
That's the Nicole Kidman in.
The white, yes, the very white. Yeah, that's all right.
And the kids, they tan well?
Yeah, they've got olive skin like my husband. But so you're saying people I've run into. Yes, I have Danica McCullough, Alicia Witt, Laura Osnes, who is a Broadway star. Who else?
Kenny Chesney?
No, not Kenny Chesney. No.
Tracy Atkins?
Tracy Atkins. Who's that?
Trace Atkins.
Oh, Trace Atkins. No.
Tracy Lawrence.
Tracy Lawrence.
Atkins.
I'm starting to get
McIntyre?
into country music, so I probably have met all of them and just didn't know who they
You
were.
have to start to get into country music.
Dolly Parton I have met.
I've named like 5.
Dolly
Dolly
Parton.
Parton. Tell us your
But
Dolly
I met
story.
her in LA. Oh my gosh, she's the most amazing person. And Tennessee's gonna freak out when she gets her angel wings. It's gonna be really challenging.
Don't even put that in the
I
air.
can't. I just love
Don't
Dolly,
even put that in the
Dolly.
air.
She's
She's
amazing.
She's clean.
She's
What, 52? Probably got another 40 years left. She looks
She's
52
amazing.
on the
Dallas
the
Cowboy.
cheerleader?
Yeah, Dallas Cowboy
She's
cheerleader.
rocking it. I know. She's amazing. No, I met her and she's just like exactly what you would imagine she'd be. Just so sweet and genuine and teeny tiny little package.
When you left Australia and the Central Coast, when you were like, I'm going to leave the beach and I'm going to go to the beaches of California, what year was that, and how did this all come about? Because you got yourself in as a film. I know you did a film with J-Lo and Vince Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
It called The Cell.
Yes.
But prior to that, you got this show called the Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. That's
And that's like morphed into like so many different. See that?
Yeah.
morphed.
I liked how you
morphed
did
into
that.
Everything else, but how did you get into that? What was it? Were you a gymnast? Did you have to do and you had to learn kung fu?
No.
Those are stuntmen. That's why they're in the costume.
So you don't
to do a
really
little
get in the
bit.
costume, so that you had a body double.
No, for a lot of the stunts, especially by the time I got on, because when they started the show, they did do their own stunts. But by the time I got on the show, we had 2 units. Second unit did all the crazy stuff, and we did all the non-helmet stuff. So I didn't do many stunts until like the movie, and then into Turbo, they started to introduce that again. But no, when I auditioned, it was just. I all I knew was it was a kids show and I was going to be, going to America, which was my dream,
Well, you auditioned in Australia.
in Australia. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They'd
Okay.
filmed the first movie there and Amy Jo wanted to leave and they had cast and a huge casting call here. Amy Jo Johnson, shout out OG. And so they'd filmed the movie in Australia and the producers loved Australia and wanted to bring some kind of international element to the show. And Amy and I are complete opposites. She's tiny, petite, little brunette. We look very different. And so they had me do a scene and then I had to do a martial arts routine, which I hope never surfaces because it was really
Oh
embarrassing.
my God, we have that real quick.
Yeah, play
So
that.
I'm glad you brought that up because we have this scene, the clip. And can you set this up real quick for us? This is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my
This is great.
gosh.
So did you stretch before this? We're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Did I stretch before? Yes, a lot of stretching happened. Yeah. No, it was just I just did a lot of high kicks and spins and stuff and made it look like I knew what I was doing.
But I'm sure you still had to do a lot because I'm sure there's episodes where they're like, oh, we can't get to our morphing things in time. And the bad guys are fighting
And we
us,
have to
and you
fight.
guys had to
Yes.
fight as yourselves.
Yes, we did have
until
to
you
do
could
that.
get
But we had amazing stunt coordinators that made us look like the boys like Steve and Steve Cardenas, Jason Frank, David Yost, Johnny Young Bosch. They were all amazing. David was a gymnast, but the other boys were martial artists.
We're talking, this happened 30 years ago, and it's still going strong now.
Yeah.
Did you think in your wildest dreams that this would be going for as long as it has? And you've got 2 kids. You got 2 teens.
Yes.
17, daughter 17.
Yep.
And
Almost 16.
shout out to your kids.
Lily and Callum, the best kids ever. I love you guys.
The youngest is the boy.
Yes.
Do they understand it? Did they get it? Did they get it? Or was it like...
I think, when you have kids, like, they don't know how cool their dad is.
Oh,
like,
his son Nash is
Right.
six.
He
sings
gets
every
No,
word
he
for
doesn't.
word.
He's
No,
still,
it's
I'm
like-
really cool. He just doesn't.
and then but then you know someone that he's really into, like, Paw Patrol or something.
Right.
And you're like, wait a second, don't you know who your dad is?
You get certain carte blanche when he's like, wait, why are you on TV with this person right now? And how are you doing?
Yes. Like, he probably thinks Trolls is, like, epic. Like, you get to be
Yeah,
in
he
it.
fell asleep. But
Oh,
no.
wow.
No,
Traitor.
I went to the screening with him. So he had this like private.
you didn't go to the original.
That's the reason I wasn't big enough to go there, but I went to the private screening here in Nashville with the family and friends, and it was funny. You could see Chris getting up like halfway through the film, and he had to monitor all the kids that were.
I had to yank my kid out and give him a little talking to.
All from his classmates are like having these fun fake fights in the middle of this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, are you kidding? You got the whole theater to yourselves.
like-
And I see
it's
Chris
fun.
be a dad. It was weird. It's like Chris is like the fun-loving guy, and all of a sudden he's like, I gotta go practice golf.
I got to take
See,
some
all of a
kids
sudden I
out.
see this 6-year-old Nash kind of look up at his dad like, I'm in so much trouble. They go out 2 minutes later, come back in. He was a different kid.
But when you're out or when you're doing something, and especially, years ago, I'm sure when they were younger, it was hard for them. What was it like when you'd be standing there and somebody come up and ask for a picture and they start to go, that's weird.
Yeah.
They don't do that to everybody.
Yeah, they don't. I think in that kind of situation, they just kind of think it was cool. But when their friends started doing it, like when my daughter was in middle school, some of her friends would be like all excited to meet me, and she would get really embarrassed. Actually, like, oh my gosh, that's my mom. Like, this is weird, and you're a boy, and I don't like this, and so she didn't like it. But my son was like, oh yeah, he would use it to his advantage.
Yeah, I'm sure that some of the friends were like, I have a picture of your mom in my room.
Oh my God, this is
like, dude, you're supposed to have a picture of me in your room.
great though. Because if you really want to get back at your kids, because this would be an awesome idea. If I were a Power Ranger, I would do this. If Dane were to have a date, I'd get dressed up in my outfit.
Would you?
Power Ranger
You
uniform,
would?
And I'd come out.
No shame.
None.
Just
meeting Dad for the first time, I'm in my red Power Ranger outfit.
Red
almost
would be your
better
color?
than, like, polishing a gun.
Well,
You
does
just
Dan-
show up in a costume. That
Yeah.
would scare anyone
Like
away.
date night? Does he ever say like? He's listen, Kat.
Can we put on the outfit?
It's like, well, I know we're going to the
Well, I
Outback.
guess the real question is, do you have any outfit? Do you have an outfit?
100% she does.
Well, I don't. They didn't give us anything. Like, we don't have anything.
After 30 years?
Nothing.
Make a
But
plea.
Jason
She got
Frank,
one on Temu.
I did. Temu. I just bought some stocking stuffers on Temu. Shout
It'll
out
never
to Temu.
come.
Temu. It'll never come. Oh no! I gotta cancel the order.
I'm just kidding.
Like, it's so cheap.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
My husband will be proud. No. Yeah. So Jason Frank, bless his soul. He stole my turbo suit. So the next time we went back for an anniversary episode, they had everything on lockdown because they knew he was coming. They're like, don't let him steal anything. So I have my turbo suit, but they had a million of them. They could have given me one.
Never go to the Halloween store and like stand right next to the Power Ranger
No.
area and be like,
That's me.
No, you don't even
try,
say that. You just kind of sit there and go,
What? No, it's funny though, because you know who gets recognized the most of all of us is Walter Jones. He gets recognized
one is
everywhere.
Walter on
He
the
was
show?
Walter. He was the Black Ranger.
okay.
So the original Black Ranger. So he's just got a really. You've met Walter.
yes.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
He actually, believe it or not, came to our very first music video shoot we ever did.
Really?
This is like 1995, maybe, in Orlando. Yeah. And I remember that was besides for Billy Joe spitting on me at a concert,
Ew.
that was my claim to fame. Well, it was
Billy
in a mosh
Joe.
pit.
Billy Joe
Armstrong. Spit
Great
on me.
name,
Yeah,
spit
I
on you?
got close to the front. He spit on me. I was like, dude.
Right on, right? Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, Walter came to our video shoot.
Oh, that's so
and
funny.
all of us were like, dude,
That's the Black
that is
Ranger.
so cool.
Yeah, and that's the reaction people have with him everywhere we go. Like,
And he's the most popular. Like
he's well, I think the most popular was probably Jason.
Jason.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like that band
Yeah.
Nsync. You've heard of?
Remind me what they sent.
Would you
What they
stop
sang?
dropping our
What's their
name?
name?
Well, because I think
They
about
sound
the Power Rangers are
familiar.
just like the Nsyncs.
Yeah.
Like Trolls. You know, you got a whole bunch of these together.
Yeah.
And
Do you hate
get some that get
the
angry.
Power Rangers Voltron? Like if somebody goes, "Hey, Voltron," or
Oh no,
something
Ninja. They do Ninja Turtles with us a lot.
Ninja
Were you a
Turtles?
Ninja Turtle? I'm like, well, how is that anything like Power Rangers? They do karate. That's about it.
So you guys hate
Yeah.
on other shows?
I don't hate on them because I love. Well,
you were in it,
Judith.
you
I
have
love you,
to.
Judith Hogue. She's the best. She lives here too in Nashville. No, so I just don't like it when they compare our show to
Because
that.
you guys are the OGs.
Yeah,
Talk about 30 years and you're still on.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's changed over the years,
Yes.
right? It's changed a lot.
A
and
lot.
they changed the Rangers, they changed the
Yes.
powers, they
Yes.
changed the weapons, they changed the robot, they changed everything, right?
Yes.
Like spin-offs, right?
Do you
have those?
do you follow up
And
on
no,
it?
not spin-offs. It's literally like they've changed
Yeah, it's just
season.
they-
Every season is it's its own entity now. Whereas when we were on it, like I did 3 different seasons, but it was the same actors that transitioned to each.
Are the Power Rangers allowed to have children? Because your kids are definitely spawns.
Yes, in the series, Tommy and Kat, my character had a child,
And
JJ.
And they're at home now with your
Yeah, he's babysitting.
babies.
The world's okay for right now.
Do
There
they
might
wear
be
your pink Power Rangers suits too, or no?
Who in the show?
No, the kids.
In the Power Ranger kids, no. But it's kind of assumed that he's going to take on the Ranger role.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, to keep it going.
Yes.
it's like Menudo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, once you get too old, they move on and get a younger
Morph
person.
into a new. Yeah.
To a new thing. But do you follow? Like, are you? Because do you do the cons? You do the
I
cons,
do a
right?
lot of cons, especially this year. It was crazy. I did.
That's when
millions of them.
you realize, right? At those cons that wow, this was a big deal.
Yeah, the first con I ever did was back in 2009, and I was in Mum World where I was like kind of delirious and like with 2 babies, and someone contacted me on Facebook or something like that, and
Probably MySpace. Then.
MySpace, it probably was.
Shout out to MySpace.
Oh my gosh, that's aging
Wait, can we give a shout out to Tom?
Who's Tom?
Tom, the guy in the white shirt.
He's
that
the guy that
just-
started MySpace. But he had the most followers on MySpace.
I think next to Jesus, Tom was the second.
And you can unfollow
That is a throwback.
Tom, I think.
But you were at a con.
So this guy contacts me and says, "Would you be interested in doing Anime Expo?" I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And he says, "Well, it's a convention." And I said, "What are you asking me, like, for what show?" And he says, "Power Rangers." And I'm like, "What?" Because this was like years
ago.
yeah. And he goes, "No, you still have a huge following." And I said, "Well, what am I supposed to bring?" And he's like, "Well, you could bring a headshot and I'll make up a promo shot for you." And I was like, "Okay." So I get there and there was like thousands of people there. Like I was like, what is going on? I was so shocked and people were crying. I was so nervous. I didn't know what, and every time we would do a panel, I would feel like I couldn't talk. Like, you know, your throat dries up. I'm like, what am I going to say? I don't want to sound stupid. I don't remember anything. I don't remember any episodes. They're asking me like in episode 52. And I'm like,
Why was your bracelet on your left hand when you usually have it on your right
that
hand?
monster with the, they wanted to nominate. I was like, I need to do research.
Did you ever have a fan that had a tattoo of you?
Yes, I've got a few of those. But
Please tell.
this guy comes up to me and I love you. I'm not sorry if I'm offending you because he's already told me I've offended him, this person, several times on Instagram. He came up and he just pulls the leg of his jeans up and it was his full, like my face, like full on his inner calf.
Oh my God.
But it wasn't just my character, it was my face.
Right.
And I was like, are you sure you want my face on you for the rest of your life? And he's like, yes. And I go, oh. And my husband said, if I ever see that leg at my door,
Oh my God.
problem. But anyway, he had the full thing. And people have me like autograph on them and then they get it tattooed on them. It's like
don't piss him off, or next time he'll just have the helmet over
just
your
he'll cover
face.
my face.
He'll
No,
cover it with
it's
the
like
helmet.
it's very flattering, but it's also bizarre because could you imagine ever having, other than your family, having a tattoo of something like people are really
We
devoted.
both have each other on
Do
our
you?
backs.
That's so sweet. Forever. Oh.
Mine's actually not him. Mine was Tom Hanks, but I tell him it's him.
Or Carson Daly.
Oh, it says.
Oh, Carson Daly.
Carson Daly.
You're
So
so
how about this? This is where because we did a really bad movie about must be almost 10 years ago now, 10 years ago. And it was a bad sci-fi movie. And I mean bad sci-fi.
Oh,
It was a cool movie, but it's one of those that I would watch. Like that would be on Mystery Science Theater or something that you're like, and it was like a bunch of musicians, bunch of old actors, John Cicada, you know, we had a bunch of crazy ex-people. But after we did that, we started doing the cons. And so I'd go to these cons and I'm like, oh yeah, they're here for the movie. It was called Dead Seven, by the way. But after like one or two cons, it was like Dead Seven didn't become the thing and it became the band.
Yeah.
But what I loved was the people you get to hang out with at those cons. Who did you get to like, who do you have good, juicy name drop stories about from the cons? Because you get everybody.
I was a huge Game of Thrones fan. So when I saw Jason Momoa, I was like, my heart stopped a little bit.
All these guys go to the cons.
It's such an interesting experience. Have you ever been to a convention? You should go with him.
I did.
No, don't go with me. That'll be the worst.
He always wants me
of my
to go.
life.
He always wants
Never wants.
and he's always like, the thing is, we have a buddy system. He's always
Don't
like,
have a
hold
buddy
my hand,
system.
and I get embarrassed because
Never have touched
who wants
my
to hold
hand.
hands with your friends,
It's
right?
awkward.
But he's friendly. He's from Pittsburgh, so he's always like that. But yeah, I go with him a lot.
Yeah.
So Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, Alice Cooper. That was a cool one. And it's so funny meeting him because he is the sweetest, most gentle man.
Not his persona.
His persona is the complete opposite, but he's like a sweet, like Christian man. Like it's very weird. And he's a grandfather. But I'm like thinking of Alice Cooper from the 80s, you know. That was a cool
70s
one.
too.
Oh, Henry Winkler. The
Henry
best man. He is he is the sweetest person. Like one of the sweetest people.
So it's like
you've
a
ever
trip. I mean, it's literally sparking up so much nostalgia. Like,
Yes. Happy days.
screens.
Yes.
I mean, that guy's he's
Waterboy.
Waterboy.
is a good one.
Oh my gosh. Adam Sandler.
Wait, who else go? Like,
Was there a point where you? Sorry, Brian. Was there a point where you're looking around and you're like, I just stopped talking to Jason Momoa so I could talk to Henry Winkler, and I'm being pulled away by Brian Dennehy?
It's a weird feeling because you're meeting them as people. I'm not
Right.
I don't get like starstruck like that. The only person I've ever been starstruck by was Nelson Mandela because it's Nelson Mandela.
Wait, did you just name drop
I
one of the
did.
Nelson
I
drops?
did.
That
I
might be
did.
one of the
Second to
biggest.
Jesus now, and
He is above Tom,
Jesus?
way above. Jesus, Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela,
then Tom.
Yes.
No, Tom Cruise
from MySpace.
MySpace. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Moving
get it
him up
together.
one
I just
again.
name drop those, so that counts.
No, that's the only time I felt like, well, Jason Momoa, I had a moment of, that's a Khal Drogo, but
Mandela, that's a
but
big-
Nelson Mandela, this is a cool story. I was working for this very exclusive catering company, right? And they
LA.
in LA, yeah, between acting jobs. You know, everyone thinks you have an acting job and then that's it. No, you have to actually work and pay your bills in between acting jobs. So it was they had to like screen us and everything. So we knew it was going to be something really big, and there was only 6 of us working it. And I drive up into this beautiful house in Bel Air, and there's like it's so much security going on. I'm like, what is going on? Is it like the president or something? And so we walk in and they tell us it's, you know, this is a very exclusive charity event. There's going to be a lot of very high named people here. And it was being hosted by he was like a venture capitalist kind of person, and Oprah Winfrey. And they just threw that out. And I'm like, oh, Oprah's going to be
we get
awesome.
Oprah twice.
Oprah, again, my girl. And so we then find out like an hour later that Nelson Mandela and his daughter are coming, and he walks in and he introduces himself to every single person, and by name, like he introduced them, I'm Nelson, this is my daughter, and your name is blah, blah, blah.
You say
And
Pink Power Ranger?
I said, I'm a pink Power Ranger, sir. I will protect you.
I'm Cat, the Power Ranger Pink.
And my alias is I'm a waitress tonight. No. Anyway, undercover. Yeah. So anyway, he did his whole thing, and then as he was leaving, he came up to each of us and remembered every single person's name.
Wow.
I was just like, wow, this man is the real deal. He was incredible.
Now, was this after you did the Power Rangers?
This was after Power Rangers. So like
you did Power Rangers and then went to do catering. Was there any other times where you would be doing catering or something and somebody would go, hey?
Same party.
same party.
Wait,
Oprah goes, wait, I recognize you
Nelson-
from the restaurant.
This is the
might be
true
a name drop
story.
record.
When I was in my 20s, you know, when you leave acting and you think I've made it, like I'm on a show and I'm, you know, it's going to be great. But I was completely locked down to Saban Entertainment. I could only work for them because I was on a visa, and they were very gracious and got me a green card eventually. But I had to be very strategic with the kind of jobs I could do in between.
The table job.
Yeah. And it was like very humbling for me to go through that experience where I was like, you know, I remember panicking when the show was ending, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to survive? Am I going to have to go back to Australia? And being worried that people were going to see me waitressing and think, oh my gosh, like what a loser. But that's part of the industry. Like you have to support yourself. And there was that whole story with that guy that was working at Trader Joe's. He was on a show.
I was just going to mention that. He was on the Cosby Show.
Yes.
And somebody shamed him.
Next
thing you know, he's getting
Malcolm
work.
Jamal Warner?
No, not Malcolm. No, not Theo.
No, he was
Theo's brother-in-law.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
right.
but-
I forget his name, but he ended up getting work from Medea with the what's her name?
The guy who he's
Does the Medea's family
reunion.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah,
He's
got him jobs. Yes.
Dia.
She's texting over there. She didn't care about us.
And a lot of successful actors have to do things in between. And you know, when you're doing catering or waitressing or something, it's just an easy job to get in and out of. So that's why they do it. But nobody wants to talk about that because it makes you look like you're not successful or something. I don't know.
Well, I think it's because once you get something like that and do that, you have, first of all, you yourself have a standard of living. Like you're like, okay, well, I'm not living on ramen noodles anymore and I'm not doing this, so I have to do this. But to support that, you know, 1 year or 3 years of Power Rangers isn't retiring. That's that's a nest egg.
And it was a non-union show that we didn't get paid very much at all. Non-union, and we didn't get, you know, no merchandising or anything like that. So it was, you know, I had to survive. And then I ended up doing, like, I think I did personal training for a little while and taught Pilates, and like I did little things in between jobs.
If you think, like, Kat, if we had social media back then, like we do now, how different things would be, even for, you know, anyone that's doing non-union shows like that. What woman of a certain age? What is the actor's name from Trader Joe's? Jeffrey Owens. Jeffrey Owens. It's like today, if that happened, you know, 20 years ago, he'd probably be shamed and it would be a story and everyone forget about it.
Yeah.
But like you think, like Trader Joe should step up and give him like an endorsement, like or some sort of commercial. And next thing you know, he becomes the Trader Joe's guy. Yeah. I mean, we all have to do something.
Exactly. I get frustrated by that mentality. I think we're all human. We all have to support ourselves somehow, and good for him for doing that, for he's a fan as a family.
I think it's just a different level, especially now. You know, especially now you've got TikTokers, you've got people that are celebrities, influencers, by doing what we all do anyways, but by posting about it and saying, oh, I have so many followers, and they'll buy the followers and they become these people. But interestingly enough, do you think that things back then would have changed with social media? Like when you were on the show, do you think that you would have had to worry more about your social media presence? Would there be a lot of Power Ranger TikToks we'd be seeing?
Yeah, I actually, I have such a love-hate relationship with social media, because I love that I get to make a positive impact and I can connect to fans. Like back in the day, we used to get fan boxes.
Right, it's so
fan letters,
personable.
and
I can see you interacting with.
I try to. It's a lot of work, but I do try to respond to every person I can. Really? I really try. It's a lot. Sometimes I fail.
I wrote you like 2 weeks ago.
I'm sorry.
Still waiting.
That was
sorry.
on my MySpace account.
Especially like I had a story recently where this guy, you know, we get a lot of messages, but this guy had reached out to me and shared that he had stage 4 cancer. And I was just like, he's a dad of 6 kids. And I was like, oh my gosh, and how can I pray for you and whatever. And then I was at a convention and he came up to me with his wife and he was like teary-eyed and saying like, thank you for responding, like answering me. And I hadn't even remembered that I'd responded because it was months before. And just seeing what that did for him made me just realize like, it's 2 minutes of my time, but it made such a difference to him. And it gave him some hope and some encouragement. And it took a minute for me to answer, you know? And I think that's the gift of being able to have influence on people like that. We have such a platform and we're so blessed, and I'm so grateful that I can be that for someone. So,
and I think the cool thing about that is if you think about it, because I remember when, I don't even think Lance was in our band yet. The four of us were sitting around and we were talking about, Lance Bass, sorry. Sorry, Lance
Armstrong.
We were sitting there talking about when, we're going to be big, we're going to be famous like every band does or whatever you do. But I remember saying that I think it will be incredible to be able to make the same difference working for a year or lifting a finger, and basically that's what it is. What we get to do, all of us as celebrities, is you get to lift a finger and make somebody's life. And if you could do that, man, you got 10 fingers, you got tons of time to really help. So I can imagine you and social media would be amazing.
I do. I love that. And I think when we're in situations where you see people acting like asses, I go, you're not saving a life. Like, why can't you just be nice, be kind? Like, this person, you are where you are because that person paid to watch your movie or see your band or whatever. So you wouldn't not be sitting there if it wasn't for these fans. So appreciate them.
Do you enjoy it though?
I do.
Yeah, you do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really feel like I call it my alter ego, because it's like I have such a normal life with raising my children, and that's like my main life. And then I get to step into this world of, entertainment and whatever, and be a blessing to people, make people happy.
How often do those things collide? Like, you're taking the trash down to the curb and suddenly somebody comes over and is like, hey, Pink Power Ranger. Like, hold on a second.
Have you been recognized by the trash man?
Not by the trash man, but my neighbors. Like, my neighbors have like asked me for pictures for. No, I'm not like, I just am just myself. So I don't feel like I give off a vibe like, oh, can't talk to her.
What's the weirdest, and I'm not talking fans. I'm talking friends or people what is the weirdest request you've gotten from somebody like, hey, listen, I know we've been friends forever, but, would you dress up in the suit one time or my kid's party, or like, what's the strangest? She didn't bring the suit.
I didn't bring the suit.
She doesn't have the suit. No, she wasn't in the suit. That's actually probably an outfit
He's
she
not
could have worn.
listening. He's not listening.
I am listening. I don't believe if you're the Pink Power Ranger, you've been around for 30 years, you don't have something.
What's the request? That's what I want to know, because it's from friends.
From friends?
Or even family.
Gosh, they've morph for them. I've had that request. Or like voicemails. Like,
can you still do it?
Of course, I practice all the time.
Can you show us how to morph?
I have a few. You want to see all of them? Yeah,
no.
Okay.
Do we have to back up, or
I can do it seated. I'm a professional.
Once the Pink Ranger shows up, is that the other person though? Are we going to be talking to, or is this?
I'm going to morph into my suit. Okay. So just be prepared.
Do we watch?
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounded creepy.
Yeah, that's
okay. Here. All right. Creeper life. Okay, so the first one was just simple. So you just take your hand behind your thing, and then you go, it's morphin' time. And I say, pterodactyl. And I go like this.
Oh, wait, hang on.
So I go,
hang on.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
So this is we hold a morpher. So that's one.
Oh, right here. Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
Now you have a morpher. You definitely have a morpher. And do you have a helmet?
Yes.
You have a helmet, you have a morpher.
But they're things that fans have given me, I didn't get that from you.
Right.
I have my communicator, which is, when we talk to Zordon, I have my original communicator. I do have that. I have my power coin.
And that's it? That's it? No boots?
A barrette that I wore. I wear a lot of barrettes.
It's morphin' time.
Go.
Pterodactyl.
Backstreet Boy.
Oh, he really went there.
Carson Daly.
It didn't work out the way I thought it planned.
I think that's so awesome. And I know, especially that's got to be hard knowing the crazy stuff that they had there that they could have given, because this is such a big part of your life that it would probably, if I would have the whole costume in a giant display case somewhere. People come in and go, wow, that's the original costume. Have you ever seen it on eBay or anything, like something for sale?
Well, the props guy from our show has a ton of stuff. Like, things that
probably got, like, a creepy
he's got.
bedroom or something.
He's got like crates of things, I think. But I have asked him, but he's very discreet about
He's got
what,
Steve's boxer shorts hung up.
Oh
in
my
his...
God.
You should be able to get that though.
Yeah, I know.
Who do we talk to? Who do we contact? He's connected. Hasbro.
Oh, you have a doll.
I have a lot of dolls. I should have
Do you
brought
have
one
any of
for
the
you guys.
toys? You got to have a lot of.
I have a lot of toys, and again, we don't get anything for that. Like I sign millions of them.
Yeah.
But I have Hasbro came out with the Lightning collection, which is really cool. Like they look really good. Like back in the day, it was like the box, big hefty body with the tiny little heads, and didn't look anything like me.
Now this is kind of what I asked a little bit earlier, but what you keep up with the Power Rangers then, because when you do these cons, you kind of have to know things.
Yeah.
Do you keep up with all the different ones, and you know what year it was, what person?
Well, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anybody. And then my best friend and I, Nakia Baris, shout out, the best person in the world. Her and I, during the pandemic, started a YouTube channel because fans were not able to go to cons, and it was causing a lot of depression for them because the fans at cons, they like, it's
Still
like
able
they're
to keep in contact. This is amazing.
Yeah, so we did this YouTube channel, and it's got all kinds of fun content. Like we ask them what they want, and we try to do that. And so we would interview other Rangers from other seasons, so I would have to watch their episodes to know like what their character's name was and what their season was kind of about. So I've gotten to learn a lot more about the other seasons as I've gone on because of the guests we've had on the show. But when I meet them as people, it's like we're just like a big fraternity, like a big family. It's really
How
sweet.
did the Sutherland family? I wouldn't. You guys call yourself the Sutherland?
My Sutherland, yes, I am a Sutherland.
You're
yes.
a Sutherland. Okay, so how did the Sutherland family cope during COVID? Did you guys drink a lot?
Oh, you mean my sorry, I thought
More
you meant
importantly, what does Kiefer think about this whole thing?
I get asked all the time if I'm related to him.
That's your brother, right?
That's my brother, Kiefer. Yes.
And Donald?
He's my he's my uncle.
Yeah. But
He'd be your dad, I think.
Yeah,
if
you
Kiefer
think my
was your
dad?
brother.
Yeah, you're right.
or I mean, I would say Kiefer would be.
But
father.
and I have mutual friends with him too, with Kiefer, but we never actually met. Sorry, what was the question? How did my
Did you guys booze a lot?
family?
You're from Australia.
I have to be honest. I did drink a lot of wine during COVID, like every night. Yeah,
There's like a YouTube video of a guy going through a neighborhood and everything, like you see trash, but there was like bottles stacked on bottles.
I remember that.
We all became drunk.
And we ate. My daughter bakes, so she baked. I mean, we all got like gained weight, and we just were surviving.
Now we pray that never happens again.
I think
God.
we did all of the
Please,
trends, and you just find we had a neighbor of ours that would go out in his driveway and set up all his music equipment and play shows, and everybody would come and chairs and sit. But what a weird time we were in.
It was so. I know it's almost like sometimes I look back and I have to like try to remember. I feel like I've blocked it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was really a strange time, and it really brought out a lot of interesting behavior in humans. I realized like with the masks, I was very anxious the whole time we were wearing masks, and I realized I was at the airport the day that they lifted the mandate
In LA.
in LA. Yes.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
LA,
yesterday.
exactly.
In LA.
Yesterday. That was yesterday.
I know. Well, they've gone back to them, I think. But I remember feeling like this, like elation, like joy. This, like, oh my gosh, I can see people's faces, and I realized how much I rely on looking at people's faces. And you, like, someone would smile at you, but you don't know if they're the group.
Yeah.
Did you want?
Frowning at
I'd
you
stick
or-
my tongue out at people all the time, but make it look like this.
I hated the whole thing. I felt like it was so
I just wanted people
hard
to put their masks back on.
You liked it better? Well, a lot of kids were wearing them because they were insecure, like they had acne or they didn't like their teeth or something, and they didn't want to not wear them, which I thought was really sad too.
I put some of my masks on and get drunk again.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that weird? You know, like when you're breathing your mask, and I'm
and
like,
you're just
oh
like
my gosh,
inhaling the fumes.
oh my god, drunk again.
People were getting those sores around their mouth. But I asked you that
Yeah,
question
mask
because
acne.
was that one of the reasons why you moved to Nashville to have a little bit more freedom? Because LA is, I mean, it's like
It's very different living out there for sure. It was and where I lived was not. I didn't live in LA County. I lived in Ventura County, but it was just starting to feel. I felt very oppressed. And that's not the right word.
it.
I felt that sounds privileged. I felt very just confined. That's a better word. I felt very confined, like I couldn't be free to be myself. That's how I felt. And then when I started to see it happening with my kids, like we'd taken my daughter to a football game here in Nashville, and she was having a panic attack because people weren't wearing masks. And I was like, and my husband's like, I'm done. Like she's a kid. Like this isn't right.
The best part though is that you and your husband can live here. You could still work. I mean,
Yeah.
to me,
Oh,
Nashville
it's
is like
so
the Hollywood of the
easy.
South.
It
And
is.
When you go to work, how great is that? You get to come home.
I know.
To know the chaos.
I know. I love it. I actually feel like it's been so much easier for me to get around from Nashville than it was California because everything's so close to us here. And I just love that people are very authentic and real, and you can just be yourself. It doesn't matter if you like pink and I like red, whatever. We can still be friends.
But you like pink.
I like pink. I do prefer pink.
What's
but
this-
if you like red, it's good.
What does Catherine Sutherland? Yeah, I'm red. Nebraska. Those are Nebraska.
Oh,
But if you put like a lot of white into it, it turns into pink. We can be
that's true. It's kind of a shade of pink.
Now, would they have allowed you to wear your pink Power Ranger mask on flights?
Oh, I never tried that.
Because I think that's
I
what
should
I would have
have.
done. If I was a Power Ranger, I would
would've
have wore
just
the
worn
helmet
the whole helmet.
everywhere I went.
I should have done
if you
that.
put,
That
like-
would have been funny.
sunglasses on with that.
Yeah, that probably fogs up after a while. Speaking of, real quick, we didn't really touch on it.
Yeah.
Who was your costume person? You had to have been close with them, right? Or you had to
On the show,
On the show.
her name was Danielle.
Gotta give her a
And she
shout
was
out.
awesome. And Kyle was her assistant, and she was awesome too. Yeah. So everything had to have a shade of pink. I didn't wear pink for years after that, after I left the show.
I hear that a lot of people like in the military, they don't wear camouflage for the longest time.
No.
Get so tired of wearing fatigues or
Yeah.
stuff like that. Well,
Yes.
can't thank you enough for coming on.
thank
This has been a privilege
you.
for all of us, and I'm sure a lot of your fans too. Because women of a certain age is like we're having a power.
Oh, thanks.
So she's super excited. But coming up in 2024, what do you have?
I actually have it was such a crazy year this year. So my daughter's graduating next year. So I'm trying not to overschedule myself too much because you don't get those moments back. So I'm trying to just not work as much next year. But I have my YouTube channel. I have a couple of projects that we're trying to pitch right now, the reality TV realm. I did a little pilot for a animation series that hopefully will get picked up. And I'm writing.
We know
So
it's going to get picked up.
I hope so. It's really cute. I hope it does.
So Catherine Sutherland.
Yes. Yes.
We said that name right. No relation
Yes.
to Donald or Kiefer.
No.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank
And
you,
if can-
guys.
and I know that you haven't sang in a long time, and you used to sing with Natalie, but Chris and I would love to.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh.
Wait,
Oh, what dang, the pressure's on.
because this is
Okay.
This is a big one. So
No.
Oh,
we're trained. We've been doing this for a while.
Why does he always say
It's
this?
Name drop
okay.
is we're gonna.
This
it's our-
name drop.
Why do you got to show off?
We'll just go name drop.
Okay.
Are you a singer by any chance?
No. I was Carson Daly's understudy. Name drop.
So he's gonna harmonize with us.
Okay.
Oh, okay. One, 2, 3.
Name drop.
Yeah, you were horrible again. But almost.
You did a good job.
Shaky. I got nervous. Can we try it again?
Yes, let's do it again. Okay.
Name drop.
Name drop.
That was better.
Is that better?
Very good.
Better because
Did the nod help when you
Yeah.
went like that?
You want to come in on it?
no.
Wait, is it good?
No, I thought the duet
No,
was
it's
perfect.
Name drop.
Let me do John, your favorite,
Yes.
and John Travolta. His favorite.
Summer lovin'.
Are you going to do it again? I thought you were going to sing Summer Lovin'.
Oh, summer lovin', have me a blast.
Summer Lovin' happens so fast.
I met a boy. No,
Met a girl crazy for me.
I met a boy, cute as can be.
Oh, I have to be. Why couldn't we pick something I'm good at?
We are. You're interviewing. Thank you so much. You're the best.
Thank you. So nice to meet you. Name drop.